The stage is set once again. Two podiums, one moderator who regrets their career choices, and an audience that came for politics but stayed for comedy. The air is thick with tension, with anticipation, with the absurd promise that tonight, history will once again collapse into parody. On the left podium stands Barack Obama, calm, collected, dressed in that signature suit that makes him look less like a former president and more like the world's most reliable spokesperson for common sense. His smile is cool, his posture relaxed. He carries himself like a man who has given 1,000 speeches and expects to give 1,000 more. His mere presence whispers, hope, change, and also, I'm the adult in the room. On the right podium stands Kim Jong-un, short, stocky, and radiating a mix of menace and insecurity. His suit looks like it was designed for intimidation, a uniform of authority that says, I am in charge, even as it fails to disguise the nervous glances he casts at the crowd. His hair, sculpted into that infamous style, stands as tall as his ego. He carries himself like a man who has never been told no and refuses to start hearing it tonight. The moderator clears their throat and asks the first question. What does true leadership mean in today's world? Obama leans into the microphone with the rhythm of a man who knows how to turn words into music. He speaks slowly, deliberately, his voice warm but firm. Leadership, he says, is about listening before speaking. It is about building bridges, not walls. It is about lifting people up, not tearing them down. His words roll like waves, smooth and practiced, so polished they could be bottled and sold as motivational water. The audience nods, some even swooning a little, because Obama's cadence makes even cliches sound like scripture. Then Kim Jong-un answers. He leans forward, his voice sharp, high-pitched, and commanding. Leadership, he declares, is about fear. Leadership is about control. Leadership is about making people obey, even if they don't want to. He sneers as he speaks, as if daring anyone to challenge him. To him, leadership is not a service, it is a weapon. It is the art of bending others until they break. The contrast could not be sharper. Obama offers honey, Kim offers iron. Obama paints a picture of unity, Kim paints one of domination. Obama speaks to hearts, Kim speaks to knees, the ones that must kneel. The narrator, me, pauses here to point out the obvious. This is not a debate. This is not a fair exchange of ideas. This is a battle of styles, a duel between charisma and coercion, a clash between the professor who inspires and the tyrant who terrifies. It is not about who is right. It is about who can make the audience believe. The moderator tries to keep the balance, asking about global challenges. Obama takes the opportunity to weave a narrative about climate change, international cooperation, and the moral duty of nations to work together. He paints a future where humanity stands hand in hand, facing the storm together. His words are grand, his tone inspirational. He sounds less like a politician and more like a preacher of pragmatism. Kim, however, laughs. Not the laugh of humor, but the laugh of contempt. Climate change, he says, is irrelevant when you can control your people so completely that they will deny reality itself. What storm can touch a nation where truth itself is dictated? What crisis can harm a leader who simply declares it solved? His words are chilling, absurd, and yet, in their own twisted logic, disturbingly effective. The audience shifts uneasily. Some are drawn to Obama's vision, others are oddly intrigued by Kim's raw defiance. Because here lies the truth. People crave both hope and fear. Hope makes them dream. Fear makes them obey. And tonight, the audience is caught between the two poles of human instinct. The insults begin subtly. Obama, with a wry smile, suggests that real leaders don't need to exaggerate their achievements, that the strongest nations are those unafraid of criticism. The jab lands like a velvet dagger, smooth but sharp. Kim's eyes narrow, his cheeks flush, and he responds with a scowl that could curdle milk. Kim fires back, mocking Obama's reliance on speeches. He sneers that words are for the weak, that real leaders don't inspire, they command. He calls Obama a performer, a man who plays with rhetoric while others seize power. The insult is blunt, clumsy, but dripping with venom. The moderator pretends not to notice the hostility, moving to the topic of power. Obama seizes the moment to speak about restraint. Power, he says, is not the ability to do whatever you want. Power is the wisdom to know when not to use it. His words are heavy with gravitas, the kind that makes audiences nod and say, "That's deep," even if they're not entirely sure what it means. Kim, in contrast, bristles at the word restraint. To him, power unused is power wasted. He thunders that power must be shown, must be demonstrated, must be absolute. A missile hidden is a missile wasted. A leader who hesitates is already dead. His voice cracks with intensity, his fists pound the podium. The audience jolts, not from agreement, but from the sheer force of his conviction. And so, the clash intensifies. Obama's calm versus Kim's fury. Obama's elegance versus Kim's brutality. One man sells dreams, the other sells dominance. Both are intoxicating in their own way. The narrator chuckles, because this is no longer a debate. This is a collision of philosophies disguised as insults. A soft war fought with words. A satire of leadership where neither side can truly win, because both are trapped in the performance. The first half hour ticks away, and the crowd is buzzing. Obama's fans cheer his eloquence. Kim's admirers, yes, there are some, roar at his defiance. And the rest of the audience? They are entertained, because politics has once again become theater. The camera pans across the stage. Obama stands tall, smiling, every gesture deliberate. Kim glares, defiant, his every word a hammer blow. The contrast is absurd, and yet, somehow, it makes perfect sense. And as part one closes, the narrator reminds the audience of the truth, that leadership tonight is not about service, or morality, or the future. It is about performance. Obama plays the statesman. Kim plays the strongman. Both are actors, both are selling illusions. And the audience, desperate for meaning, applauds both. The debate resumes after a short break, though the word debate is generous. What we are really watching is a duel of identities. Obama, the eloquent professor of democracy, versus Kim, the fiery architect of fear. Both men stand where spotlights burn and history dissolves into satire. The moderator, whose patience is thinning by the minute, asks about the role of honesty in leadership. It's a trap of a question, because honesty is both the most celebrated and least practiced of political virtues. Obama, of course, treats it like a sermon. He smiles that familiar smile, nods, and speaks of transparency, accountability, and truth as the foundation of trust. He says that leaders must be honest not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. He weaves metaphors about clear glass and open doors, about daylight being the best disinfectant. His delivery is flawless, his tone almost paternal, as if reminding the audience of values they already know but have conveniently forgotten. The audience nods along, warmed by his cadence. For a moment, they almost believe that honesty is possible in politics. Then Kim laughs, a sharp, cutting sound that slices through the theater. Honesty, he declares, is for the weak. He claims that truth is not a virtue, but a tool. He brags that his people believe whatever he tells them, because belief itself can be manufactured. He mocks the very idea of transparency, boasting that a true leader's power lies in controlling reality itself. The crowd gasps. Some boo, others cheer, but all are riveted. Because whether they like him or not, they cannot look away. Kim is outrageous, but outrageousness is magnetic. The narrator observes with a sigh, here lies the paradox of power. One man sells truth as an ideal. The other sells lies as liberation. And the audience, fickle as ever, laps up both. The moderator presses on, now asking about sacrifice. What must a leader give up for their people? Obama's answer is smooth, noble. Leadership, he says, means giving up comfort for responsibility. It means trading privacy for accountability, ease for service. He frames sacrifice as a duty, the noble burden of those chosen to lead. His words are heavy with gravitas, the kind that makes audiences feel both guilty and inspired. Kim's answer is the opposite. Sacrifice, he snarls, is for followers. Leaders, he claims, must demand sacrifice, not endure it. The leader is the sun, the people are the orbiting planets. Without the sun, the planets freeze. Without the leader, the people vanish. His metaphor is terrifyingly simple. Sacrifice flows upward, never downward. The audience shudders, torn between admiration and horror. Because while Obama paints sacrifice as noble, Kim paints it as obsolete, and both, in their way, sound convincing. The narrator leans in with